Disclaimer: these videos are not reviews. Piggy is a fictional character created by me and is sort of bits of the Roblox game Piggy, due to his face being similar to Piggy's face. Piggy is a very angry character, and while its appearance is very similar to mine, it's not one-to-one. The show is rated 13 plus, as it contains swear words and fun, so if you're under 13, then don't watch the show until you're 13 years old or above it. And also, the show is inspired by both EVGN and nostalgia culture and caught up in the videos on and making the show in the first place. These videos are not meant to be rich-bait and instead made for entertainment. So please don't take these videos way too serious. Okay?
Hi guys, I'm Piggy, the destroyer of bad media, and welcome to my series where I review and destroy the worst media of times. From movies, TV shows, video games, books, animation, anime, comics, novels, and manga, and every other shit stuff in this world. And to start this series, I'm going to be reviewing, and if you guess by the title, Joker 2. And why I'm destroying this movie, you may ask. 1. This movie is an unnecessary sequel, and 2. This movie is fucking bad, and it's if not the worst movie on a sequel of all time. Like, just look at the Rotten Tomatoes and all the reviews and of other sites, and they'll tell you that this movie is fucking bad. But why am I reviewing this movie, X? Well, that's because back in Christmas, Santa Claus gave me a DVD of the Powerpuff Girls 2016 rebuild, Balance Wonderland, and every comic issue of Ultimarium. And he also gave me this piece of fucking dog shit. And you may be wondering, and why Santa gave me all of this shitty stuff and I was like, good stuff for Christmas? Well, there's a reason for that, because, well, apparently Santa Claus gave me this letter as well. And the letter reads, so I quote, "Dear Red Piggy, ho ho ho, you may be wondering why I give you all of this shitty stuff. Well, that's because, ho ho ho, you have been a bad boy this year, as you destroyed a good meteor and cornered the worst meteor of all times. So fuck you! On Merry Christmas and on Happy New Year, Red Piggy, ho ho ho, from Santa Claus." And before I ask, yes, I did indeed destroy the quote-unquote good meteor and destroyed and called it the worst meteor of all time. And yet Santa Claus thinks it's the best meteor of all times. And since I bring all of this Christmas stuff brought up, a lot of people are now questioning, well, why are we filming this movie here in May and not around in January or February or March? Well, I was trying to upload this episode in around March, but apparently it took almost 5 months for me to write all of the script. But anyways, with out of that way, let's review this piece of dog shit to see if it's really pure evil. I thought it's more than brilliant. More like atrocious, bad, and horrible.
When the Joker 1 movie came out, it grossed around $1.079 billion. The movie received well from both critics and audience, and despite this, it was meant to be just a BS download movie and had no plans for a trilogy. It wasn't until Phoenix theatrical plays Ultra and the Joker got a deal for a sequel for a Trinity yet. and pitch it to one of those excesses, and since this is of course the different censor tower that we are currently living right now, so they approve it and brought back the direction co-streamer of the first movie, George Bush, and the screenwriter as well, Scott Sickle, for the sequel movie, and since the movie was filmed from December of 2022 all the way to April of 2023, and then the movie would hit theaters in the 4th of October 2024. The movie flopped at the box office as it grossed around $226.12 million. The movie wasn't received well from both critics and audience. It also had a lot of drama from behind the scenes, and it was a complete nightmare.
So after researching on fun details from this movie, I can always tell that we're definitely doomed from the start. So let's waste no time and watch this movie that was made from a trend that's more like a little nightmare.
The movie starts out with a sort of a recap of the first Joker movie at the top out in classic Looney Tunes style, as we see Joker come out of the car and walks to the theater with his fans excited cheering for him. Joker goes to the makeup room and puts up more makeup on him, likely to make him more pretty and more be prepared for the show. Joker also takes over his place and locks it up to a wardrobe and then goes out to the makeup room and then kisses a girl and kills some girls, which I'm pretty sure he did. I could be wrong, as I'm just guessing anyways. Joker escapes from being locked in the wardrobe as he hears the announcer announcing Joker on stage as Joker Shadow comes to the stage and sings what the world needs now is love's reward, and then Joker comes to the stage to get his shower and gets laughed up for having no clothes on him, and then his shadow grabs and sings along with his shadow, and the police arrive to see what's going on and find out that the Joker kissed a woman and killed a bunch of guards, which is believed to be. So the police comes to the stage to arrest the Joker. Then Joker's shadow puts off Joker's clothes he's been wearing back on them, and the police beat the Joker with a bunch of blood coming out to the screen as it translates into the actual start of the movie.
And to be honest, while I do like how it captures the feel of the possibility start, it kind of does a bad job of recapping the third act of the first movie, as it doesn't really capture parts of the Joker appearance movement, and while it may sound like a bit of a nitpick, and while it doesn't get that reference for what the Joker is getting prepared for the stage, it's a point aspect of the scene and should be part of this because when said they skipped the different parts of the Joker as well as the shadow singing a song, and if they wanted to include that part of the scene instead of including the part of that scene that is our requirements, then what is the point of this recap if you're not going to remind us of the part? So why not remove it? Unless this recap is meant to be a foreshadowing for what's to come from
the slop sequel. Guys, in this shot, Joker on the one hand was showing option 1 and was preparing for the stage, while Joker's shot on the other hand was trying to get his human self into trouble by disguising himself and causing a bunch of chaos, which led the police to mistaking him for those crimes, which could possibly coincidentally render him hate that the Joker is Ultra Flex, while Joker's shadow is the Joker, and when the scene is meant to be a sign of a greater threat, a threat that's so unspeakable, so infamous, and so horrible.
That even when you separate all of the drama from behind the scenes, this movie is still absolutely done from the absolute start. Anyways, let's move on. And all it gets started from the scourge of a absolute horrible abominations and disgrace to humanity and mankind.
So the movie finally starts with us seeing Ultra Flex exit the Joker who has been in jail for 4 years. Well, that's to my knowledge from what I researched. Apparently, Octopus has come down from his senses since it's been 4 years after the first movie. While the police were shifting his spirits off, one of the police tries to make Ultra laugh by telling a joke of some kid who lost his dog in a car accident and asks the judge if they can have a female for his dogs. However, the judge says no as they could afford a female the accident took place. After one of the police shifts his spirits off, Ultraflex smiles, meaning the jokes made him go back to his laughter evil clown self. Slowly, but still, yes? The police show Ultraflex where the Ultra House lives, as we see the other had seen, to get rid of the incentive. And then Lee sees Ultra host the Joker and shows him of her doing the gun band right over her head, just like he did in the first Joker movie when he was practicing for the Mary show. The police tell Ultraflex that this would have been his place if he didn't kill 5 people, with one of them being a TV showman.
What? This would have been his place if he didn't kill people? Like 5 people?
Okay, first of all, how the hell is killing 5 people a big number? Well, I do know indeed that the Joker movies are meant to set around in the 80s, which was a different time, but still, 5 still feels like a small number, because killing 1 to 5 people would likely make you end up into this section after, while killing 6 people or above that number would likely make you end up in this section out this hill. Well, I do indeed know that other facts killed John Martin, but they don't really know that he also did that, so he would still end up in the musical section of the Lockdown instead of the art section of it. And while it may sound like I'm just negating and just over-exaggerating, but why did they decide to make 2 sections in the audience, one that toward the portions of what most questions are like, and one that 2 musicals? So why the fuck would you have 2 fucking sections of audience when you can just have the entire audience being able to do mixing and sing together with the insanity? Now, who am I kidding? Why would they have options be all musicals? That would be just stupid. Even chosen persons from the 60s up to the 80s won't have that, and why I have not watched any musical comedy movies from around the 60s up way to the 80s. But I do know that something like this won't be incorporated into this universe, because even though the first Joker movie was inspired by comedy movies from around the 70s, it was a sexual triumvirate thanks to being also in by both Taxi Driver and The King of Comedies, as those are also 12 movies.
So why would they have integrated something like that into this darker realistic granted universe? Man, no wonder why they decided to make an unnecessary shitty sequel to one of the movies.
The police take Ultraflex to Mary Stewart. Well, to my knowledge from the way picture, as I do can't forget people's names or barely listen to them. And you have to get used to that, because I keep on forgetting people's names in this movie here. Both of them sit down and Mary tells Arthur that he's going to be interfering with Dr. B to show his confidence. Mary also tells him that during his charge, there was a split in his mind, one being Ultraflex and one being the Joker, which is weird because there was no reference to him having 2 minds. And why did it take them 4 years to discover that he has 2 different minds? Ultraflex gets interviewed. Dr. Baby asks him about the subway train accident, which Ultra gets on no comments about. Then she asks him if he remembers anything from the 95 incident. Ultra tells her that he only remembers the music part, which is strange since in those scenes that during King's blood up, Ultra acts more like Ultraflex than so the Joker. And let me show you a clip of those 2 scenes.
I don't think so.
When you cross a mentally ill loner with a society that abandons him and treats him like trash,
Call the police,
I'll
Gene.
tell you what you get.
Call the police.
You get what you f***ing deserve.
So it's either that Ultra has amnesia, or he's just completely lying and he's just making George Prince believe him more that he actually has 2 different personalities, which if you watch the entire first Joker movie, he completely doesn't have that. After the interview, we get a person of someone which I clearly forgotten. Actually, also, I held the Joker kisses as he was told by the police because they think that Joker is a good kisser, so also shows him by kissing him, which looks like a typical kiss. And just to let you know, I am not an anti-work person as I don't really see any problems with LGBTQ+. Honestly, every anti-work critics are pretty much just rage bitches and just criticize things because they either have a black character, or they raise up someone, or an LGBT character, or if the female character is the main protagonist. Which all of those are complete stupid and are not actual criticism. I'm just criticizing the scene because he just asks Audrey how does the Joker kiss as he was told by the police, which he shows him, and it looks basically like how most people kiss. You can place this with something else, and we're not ruining the story of this movie, which by the way, it always sucks. And then one of the police tells Audrey that he got him into the musical class and they're going next week. And then everyone goes back to the cells as time is up. And for some reason, the retro aspect goes from 21/9 to 16/9. Yeah, I am not fucking kidding. I did not zoom in the scene as the movie does it by itself. And this doesn't happen one time. No. This happens like a billion times in the movie. Like, they didn't know what to expect you to use like 21/9 or 16/9, and they decide to use bots. Couldn't you go for like 16/9 aspects ratio as the first movie was 16/9 aspects ratio? Well, so shouldn't the movie be 16/9 aspects ratio?
Make your own decision.
Sorry for that once, as I did got carried away. Anyways, also then the all prisoners go back to the cells as it's nighttime, with also smoking a cigarette. The next day, the police unlocks the doors and the criminals go at the cells and to do the outfit switch change, except for Otto as one of the police takes him to the musical class since the police got him into it, and then Otto pants up with Lee and then sits alongside with the class. Wait a minute. Didn't the police tell him that they were going to the music class next week and not, well, tomorrow?
I got you in. We're going next week.
Like, shouldn't he tell him that they were going to the musical class tomorrow instead of next week? Well, that's just a bit of a mistake, and I hope it does not happen for like a billion times, like with the ritual aspect. After the class was over, Lee asks Jojo on why he's in Ocean and tells her that he kills 5 people and 1 being live on TV, and also tells her that he actually killed 6 people as nobody knows that he killed his model as well. And then also tells Lee why she's in Ocean, and Lee tells him that she burned down her entire parents' vision. She also tells him that when he was on live TV, she kept telling him about that he was going to blow his brains out, and also tells him that they even made a movie about him 20 times. Lee also tells Toshi that he used to grow up in the same neighborhood as him. She would use the same staircase for school every day. However, her parents didn't give a shit about it, and her dad would beat the shit out of her until he died in a car crash, which she makes a joke about it, which made both Otto and Lee laugh at. And then Lee sings her song that they sing back at the class, and then one of the police takes Otto to his master versions. But the whole is it, and that's the best way I could describe this because I don't know anything about jails, prisons, or actual asylum as a whole. As the criminals are watching the news on TV, with Otto seeing it as well, he finds out that he will be on trial, and if he's guilty, he will receive a death penalty, and then Otto starts to sing, and here's when we get our actual full sound, and oh my, just listen to Otto singing here.
For once in my life, what my heart used to dream of long before I knew. As long as I know I've got love, I can make it. For once in my life, I've got someone who needs me.
Well, no hate to actor. Okay, maybe a little bit. Well, even though Phoenix may be a good actor, but he's definitely not a good singer.
Like, is that actual singing? Because it's absolutely not. Which is strange because this is the guy who came out with this unnecessary shitty movie from his dream where he was singing. Like, did he have any practice of him? Well, maybe, but not enough to actually sing. Ugh. Also sings about him that he has someone in life which is like a lady, and that time it just comes off as fear as it has nothing to do with the point where he's going to be on trial, and if he's found guilty, which he will be sent in a death penalty. And that has more to do with the scene where Bones and Ultimately meet for the second time, talk about all the crimes that they committed, and then one of the criminals asks Ultimately if he's scared, which snaps him back to reality, making that seem like a dream. Well, I guess so, because for some reason they decide to put him outside the ocean where he's been title loaded or whatever it's called, and Arthur both laughs and me be crying both at the same exact time. And then we cut to Arthur calling someone and telling her that he's going to the court, then write something in one of the police books and went to the hall to watch the movie, and then one of the police, this is what Arthur wrote and says, I hope you get cancelled. Well, I hope this movie gets cancelled. Or ballot, then deleted on stream platforms as well as every vector media and store. Also goes to the hall to watch the movie alongside with Lee, and she tells him that she's about to buy the entire auction. However, also tells Lee that it's a bad deal, but she doesn't listen, says she does it anyways, and goes to buy the piano and goes back to the movie without anyone knows it. And the violin and the piano spreads over the entire auction, and the police evacuate the equipment as everyone except for both alternately as they both kiss and Lin sing, and we get a nasty song. And while they're singing, both alternately try to get powerful. It didn't work as they get onto a website as they find that they likely don't want to combine the entirety of Auckland. Alton gets sent into the basement of the Auckland. Isn't Auckland getting bombed down in the fastest? Whatever. The police take him to one of the cells, and then Alton drinks up him as the Joker and sleep sings. And we get an unforgettable song. Like, did we get another one after we had a song like 15 seconds ago? Luckily, this one's 1 minute, as Lee makes Alton wakes up as Alton says it's Lee, and Lee tells Alton that one of the police allowed her to do so, and also tells Alton that she's going to leave Alton as he has bad influence on her. Lee then puts makeup on Alton to make him look like a Joker, and then they both kiss, and Alton does this to her.
I have no fucking idea on why he talked about that.
Then we cut to Alton getting ready for his first interview or second interview, as he had an interview of if he actually has 2 different personalities. May tells Alton that this is his chance to show a different side to him and to who he really is. Alton gives Manny a kiss and the interview starts. The interviewer asks Alton about the movie incident and what was going through his mind, and Alton said to the interviewer that he can't remember anything as he saw blinking lights, but then he says that the only thing he can remember was thinking about killing himself on live TV, which he did talk about in the first movie. However, Murphy was a bad actor, so he killed him instead of himself, and then the interviewer asks Alton if he deserved to die, and Alton says that it was his sanity, which contradicts himself that the only thing he was thinking about was killing himself. The interviewer asks him if he's talking to Alton or the Joker, and Alton asks him if he really cares, and tells him that he just likes Murphy not caring about who he is right now. So the interviewer asks Alton what changed about him, and Alton tells the interviewer that he's no longer alone. The interviewer asks him if he's referring to Leah as he was skipping along with her, and then Alton sings and we get another shitty song. While Alton singing, Lee breaks a window just so that she can get the TV for herself to see Alton and get away with it by not getting with it, which is usually but since she got bad influence from the Joker, actually Alton flags, or we can just be stupidly tanker and he could just be tricking us so she doesn't get arrested. I finished part 2 of the Joker 2.
Also, I'm wondering about the runtime. Let me check and see. 14 minutes. Okay. I'm curious about what the all runtime for the all sections of the videos are. Part 0, 5 minutes. Part 1, 3 minutes. Wonder if I combine all the minutes together. 5, 34, 3, 21. Okay, it was 9 minutes and 5 seconds.
Okay, let's add that to the runtime of part 2.
14, 15, 9, 5, and that's calc, and holy crap, I'm only 23 minutes and 20 seconds? Oh. Crap, did that one hear it?
You see, I'm hinting us around at 3 AM in the morning, so I had to be quiet or else I would wake anyone up. But anyways, the reason why I'm making this runtime a big deal as I intend my videos to be around 20 to 30 minutes, and as you can see here, it's around 21 to 23 minutes, and since I'm also filming this thing as well as editing as well, so it's likely going to be around 23 to 25 minutes. But I do know a lot of you are going to say, wait, Piggy, you do realize you have around like 97 minutes to fill part 3? Well, guess what? Part 3 is going to likely be the longest as I went too much into detail to the point I had to cut down a lot of it, and if I had to combine most of part 1 into part 2 because of how long it is, and might have no time to edit part 3, how long it is. All the clips you're going to see are likely mostly going to be still images of the movie, which finally is a good thing because of copyright, but still. So I have to end this video on part 2 and continue with part 3 on the next episode. So anyways, I'm gonna work on part 3 right now.
That's life.
That's life.
That's what all the people say. You're riding high in April, shot down in May. But I know I'm gonna change that tune when I'm back on top in June. I said that's life.
That's life.
And as funny as it may seem, some people get their kicks stomping on a dream. But I don't let it get me down. 'Cause this fine old world, it keeps spinning around. I've been a puppet, a pauper, a pirate, a poet, a pawn and a king. I've been up and down and over and out. And I know one thing, each time I find myself flat on my face, I pick myself up and get back in the race. That's life.
That's life.
I tell you, I can't deny it. I thought of quitting, baby.